tell me. I will fix it as fast as I can, as we're now on A stream now, because, you know, funny things have happened.
Hilarious things have happened here. We've got Persona versus Benja Persona here. Peru going up against Honduras. Let's get it. It's a banger.
Oh my god, incredible. But hey, we're getting ready to move forward this one for Peru. A game that needs to put them in a pretty good position, quite honestly. One they need to win right now, and getting Ragozo out of mech, that is definitely a great way to get the fight started. This point opens up, and they are going to start just rolling on forward.
Yeah, you'll take that every day of the week if you are the side of Peru. So, first capture for early pick onto the tank as well. I mean, you love to see it. Really no other way of putting it. And I do find it interesting that we see Puggo out here playing the Reaper. This is a hero that we haven't seen a whole lot of during these World Cup qualifiers. And, I mean, kind of for good reason. Reaper hasn't been seen as a particularly great character in a long time. And he can definitely struggle into some of the tanks that we have seen during this particular tournament. And I think he, in particular, struggles super heavily into D.Va, so it'll be interesting to see how Puggo does here.
Yeah, 100% right here. With key down early, though, this does kind of not bode well moving forward for Peru. They're trying to keep some bodies on and force some kind of flip right here. In fact, they will actually get a free flip, and Big Poop barely gets back, but Ragozo not as lucky.
Yeah, that one was honestly pretty phenomenal from Ragazzo there. And not from Ragazzo, from Uber Eats, excuse me. All 5 members of Team Honduras will be falling here. Peru will also suffer several casualties, but they'll all make it back fine. They'll hold on to the point for a very long time here. And I mean, Uber Eats is just going to make sure that the whole team gets back and they don't get the point flipped on them out of nowhere. Cell also playing here on this venture, looking for really just anything that they can do, any opening that they can find here, but he is the one to find the first pick here. Benja Persona once again going down super early, and that just means that Uber Eats is going to have the beat for this fight, whereas Benja Persona has to walk all the way back. Uber Eats doesn't even need to use it here. Ragazzo resets once again, and now we're in one fight territory.
Yeah, right now, we managed to see how good that deal was between Fix and Uber Eats, or as we know a little bit as Ishtar, but we'll call him Uber Eats for the sake of simplicity, as Katsuni Rush is used in a really weird spot, basically just to kill Fix.
I mean, if it gets the kill, it gets the kill, but Puggo's going to be the one to get the next one. That's a great use of the Rampage, but an amazing beat that basically counteracted from Benja Persona. Really no effectiveness from that Rampage except a little bit of chip damage. Overclock gets used by Daniel Mix again, and suddenly just not connecting Persona, though! He will be! Cell does get him out of the equation with the Tectonic Shock, but it simply won't be enough as Peru will dominantly take Gardens.
Yeah, 100%. Looking great, man. Like, everything considered. Fantastic work. And again, we expect this out of Peru moving forward, what they have been able to kind of put up throughout the weekend. But Honduras, in their own right, they have made these fights extremely scrappy, and that's what we expect out of Honduras in everything they're able to bring. Now, the question is, can they keep bringing that firepower forward right now? Because Peru is one of those teams as well. They're not the most aggressive team in the world. I think they have some of the best mechanics out of the teams in here right here. Persona is the biggest example of that. I don't know if you saw any Persona's games yesterday, but was legit a hero on that Oasis map, like previously. Insane.
Mega and I had a bit at one point where we both like screamed Persona at the same time, exactly like they do in the game. So it was that was very funny.
Yeah, and we're looking at a potential boop here. Oh, a little bit of a boop as Benja just alley-ooped basically. Oh my god.
Yeah, Benja gets executed just on the spot. You don't get to go anywhere with that. And Cell also goes down. Puggo finding the 1v1 kill on the sideline. And I mean, that's just the entirety of Honduras backing away and allowing Peru to have this first capture.
Yeah, no, 100%. We'll see what comes out of fruition for it right there. But first cap going to come through as it should right here. But Ragozo isn't really aggressively on this Domina. And unfortunately, it's getting punished pretty badly. Will be able to stay up with a little bit of a regroup here. As Kyu's been so prevalent on the weekend over on that Junker Queen. is hoping to continually make this work. A character that I think can work pretty decently over into the Domina. Maybe not the best answer, but I think definitely an answer for it.
Puggo. Oh my god, bro!
Bye.
He just died. He just died, bro. He died. Like IRL, he got annihilated. Just so hard got shot so hard in game. The bullets came through the screen and killed him. I mean, that's just the fastest death I've ever seen a Reaper have coming out of Wraith form. That was insane. And off the back of that pick, the rest of the fight snowballs. And Honduras is able to get the point moving at long last. They have some percentage blowing here. I think they got a little bit on Garden, but
yeah,
this was like a definitive fight win for them. So good on Honduras.
Yeah, big on them. But another fight needs to come their way right here to get themselves some real momentum trucking forward. Yeah, Panopticon and around the corner, but really, it is going to come down to that Consider Rush still active right there. But Benja again is set up and just taken out of the air. And now this fight's just done. What?
Yeah, it's over. Why are we Kitsune rushing? What are we doing, Lunar?
It's stalling. To be fair, it's stalling. He's not in the best location. And Bob actually moved into the hole. This could be magical for all we know, actually. Daniel's down, but Cell's trying to get back in. Eventually will be down, so they are eventually going to have to likely give this up right here. So I don't know. I don't know. It gives you more percentile, I guess.
I suppose, but like, it just doesn't make sense to use it there. It would have made just as much sense to just send Ragazzo onto the point, stay there with his shield, and have Lunar and Benja do their best to keep him alive for as long as possible. I don't think you needed to use the Kitsune there.
No, I don't think you did either. And now, this next fight, you just have to take really aggressively and try to get as many ults out of them as possible right there, and you will at least get one out, but because you don't have a response, it's just done.
Nope. Yeah, fight's over. Congratulations. Do not stop it. Go. Do not collect $200. Just go back to spawn room, man. It's donezo. That is one press of the Q button, and he has won the fight.
Yeah. And now with only one fight left coming up here, I mean, you have some good ultimates, but let's be real, you are going to need to have this beat coming up here if you want any chance of winning this fight. I'm being so real in that regard right here. Panopticon's ready to go, and it gets onto at least one.
Yeah, Panopticon out, and I think it just hit E, but I'm not entirely sure. Death Blossom in the back. There's a lot of damage here, but only Cell going down in the fight so far. Benja Persona falling low for a moment, but not quite going to die. Cell swapping over to the Vendetta in an attempt to get back to the fight faster. Persona with such clean railgun shots will take Benja Persona out. Daniel also falling in this fight, though. The Vendetta has arrived, and I mean, she's going to be hurting real bad, but Puggo plays the hurt on first. This Reaper working wonders against the Domina, and that is going to be Oasis going definitively the way through.
Oh man, it's an insane performance from Peru right there. Again, Persona picking up where they left off yesterday. Really well done. 26 elims here for Key, who has been, I think, potentially the best. I know it's weird to say the best Junker Queen when Junker Queen only has so much time, but has been one of the most consistent Brawl tank players so far this entire weekend, and it is showing very prevalently to get things started on this one right here. So gonna need to see a different look from Honduras going forward right here. I think the Domina definitely had its moments, but I think it really does suffer going to that Junker Queen that can really just cleave through those shields, not really have to worry about a whole lot, and can just run into you and can contest you very easily in the same way that a Diva can in a lot of instances, which Diva has kind of been the main counter for Domina in a lot of ways, that at least when we were kind of talking about the meta early on when all the new characters dropped. But now we kind of move forward. You focus on second map, seeing what you can do there. But again, this is just, I'll come back to it. It's an instance of Peru picking up where they left off yesterday. And as we're talking about things right now, Chile's doing the same against Panama right now. 100-0 to start that first round. And these are two teams that, again, are just trying to, like, pretty much do everything they can to make their day three go through with the least amount of stress possible, and that comes from winning these games today. So it's gonna be fascinating to see how it goes down, especially because, God, you look at those like games that are happening at the very end of the day, and you see these, and they just become so much more of an anticipation.
I think that that last map was pretty interesting because interesting maybe isn't the right word to use here. More like, I don't know, it's almost frustrating because Honduras is a team that I mean, you and I obviously got to cast their trials a couple days ago when they were still trying to nail down their exact roster for this event, and there were moments during that tryout block that I saw players and I was like, okay, I really like what I'm looking at here. And it just feels like in that map in particular, there were so many simple mistakes being made, so many moments where I'm like, why are we doing this, or why are we playing this hero, or something to that effect, right? Like, I mean, the moment you see a Reaper, you should not be picking Domina, because I mean, the whole reason Reaper was important in, I know I'm going back a ways here, but stick with me, the 2019 playoffs, is because that was double shield and Reaper could just walk through the shield and shoot the tanks. Right? That's the whole purpose of playing Reaper in a composition like that. And I mean, they're also playing Queen, who also is very good at that, also has a shotgun, also walks through a shield and just messes up your tank. I don't know. Domina just does not feel like the right decision there for Team Honduras, and it is mildly frustrating, but because I know this team is good and I really want to see them do better here.
Yeah, I do too. I think there's a lot of things that they can do in a scenario like this. But Peru's obviously a really tough team to be able to break through to make a lot of these things happen. But it's becoming a do or die already for Honduras to put themselves in a position to still potentially top 3. So they need to come out here. They need to come out here with the assumption that this is your weekend on the line right here. You have to be fair, you have to walk into every game with that mentality that, like, we can't lose this. We have to go and give it everything we have. Now, we'll see how that kind of proceeds moving forward. We're just waiting for that second map to get underway and proceed on forward. But right now, I'm looking over the stream, and we're just seeing, again, Chile just cleaning up shop. On Frack on the Hog, by the way, which...
Yep.
Wow.
Frack Hog. Frack Hog.
We've seen more Hog than we have Remastered this weekend. Think about it.
Don't say that.
We have, though. We have. Oh, I love every bit of it. I'm kind of watching this final fight go down, and actually Panama actually is going to win that fight. Wow.
Solid. You know what I've been a little bit surprised about? The lack of Zarya we've seen this week. Like, where did she go?
So I'll tell you this, and people can attest to that if they wish. South America, Latin America aren't like super crazy about the Zarya.
Interesting.
It definitely comes out right here, and some of the biggest examples honestly was like Chile that was running it a bit more previously. Not like a ton, but there's been a couple teams that have definitely used it a pretty significant amount. But it just, oh my god, opening bye. But
goodbye opening.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah. But it's just a situation. So I lose my train of thought for a moment there. I lose my complete train of thought there. It's one of those situations where everyone kind of falls into their own style, because you've seen a lot of it kind of lean towards things like the D.Va a lot of the time. And it's a scenario where the D.Va plays a lot better with the Emre, and actually it plays really good against the Emre as well. That's why sometimes when we go to these more open maps, you'll see like the D.Va Emre mirror a lot of the time. Because that's what you have to do. As, oh, that is a sick shot. I know we're in Blizzard World, but that is sick. What? We were spending so much time yesterday trying to guess, like, who's doing the OBS on these? Who's doing it? And I could not tell. We thought it was Orange originally because they were going around to find, like, all the alpacas and the frogs and the pigeons. It was not. We were mistaken. But I would love to know, actually.
I would also love to know. That's a Chantal angle if I've ever seen one, but I know Chantal was in chat earlier, so I don't know if that's, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know if she's doing this.
I don't know, but we'll see. I mean, always feel free to say hi. We're always big chilling here looking at chat. But
True.
We're still proceeding on forward with this game right here. We're going back to the Domina versus the D.Va. All things considered, we'll see how it works out for Ragozo. Going into this situation right here. Key more than happy to be back on that D.Va now. I think maybe potentially anticipating the Emre, but no, it's going to be the Sojourn for both sides. And this leads me to believe that Emre was probably banned.
Probably. Complete side note, I totally forgot that the statue gets replaced by one of the Nier robots in this event. I love it so much. Oh, it's so cute.
100%.
Persona sliding up to the high ground here. What a pick! Oh my god, the isolation onto the Venture is beautiful from this squad. And I mean, that's just a fight. Surely they're going to be able to get onto the point off the back of that one, Peru. Beautiful stuff so far, and that might just be the point entirely.
Yeah, it realistically should be. One tick already done. I mean, without Ragozo, I don't see how you're going to get back into this one right here. You don't have anyone besides Self that can really even engage a stall, and Self is wondering, looking, and deciding, yeah, not doable, not worth it. Gonna try to get out of here alive, and should be able to do so. So, fight reset. Very quick one for Peru right there, as Luna's guy just gets sniped by Persona. And this is going to enable this card to keep trucking on more and more without any real stoppage coming through from Honduras. How?
Yeah, it's been real rough for Honduras so far. I still don't know that the Domina is the play here. Even though we're not seeing the same composition that the Domina struggled so hard against last time, it's still not having a great time playing into this. Obviously, the Panopticon can be very good against characters like the Tracer, like the Sojourn, like the Wuyong, but I mean the problem is connecting onto those heroes, you know? They're very slippery.
Yeah, 100%, and now still a ton of time remaining here. They need to find a way to break through, but you can already see eventually Self's going to drop over on the point and deliver a little bit of pressure. But already, you see Key come around, literally like the mom that saw her son getting bullied and just says, nope, not my son. No, please. And for Key, who gets knocked out of the mech, doesn't actually work out all that well, as Self's actually doing a really good job of keeping this point in place.
Points now moving forward a little bit again for the side of Peru, but it won't do that for very long, as he was demeched earlier and eventually is taken out entirely. So everybody else forced to back off. Nobody else will go down, though. So crucially, this is going to be a full 5v5 fight, and it's almost going to be 10 ultimates across the lobby as well.
100% will be. Still plenty of ultimates, though, and that's massive that we are literally going to have all 10 right here. But Persona is going to strike first, and Persona has gone buck wild before, but Pucko actually gets the first Elim to get things started.
Yeah, very nice. The damage from Persona's overclock not even turning out to be all that necessary, really. The rails don't connect, but it doesn't matter. Pucko gets the opening pick, and eventually Persona finds a pick anyway. Lunar Sky going down is so huge, because now you're dealing with solo Wuyong heals, and that might be kind of difficult, but the Tidal Blast is exactly what you need to enable Self to go forward with that Tectonic Shock, take the Reeds out of the picture.
No shot.
Bomb thrown in. Surely this doesn't get anybody. Okay, excellent. It doesn't. Ragazzo almost washed by that remake, but won't be. And eventually, this should be a successful defensive hold for the side of Team Honduras.
Yeah, Key is still in there. Somehow Key's still... Oh, they've been staggering is why. And now they're going to have to... Yeah, eventually just be taken out. Persona was finding some late frags in there, so I was a little afraid of keeping Key alive, but obviously it works out really well. 2.5 minutes left on the clock, which is massive considering they came into this with a little bit over 5 minutes. So half that time bank has been burnt away. And Ragozo gets the early kill onto Uber Eats or E-Star, and now you delay this fight even further. This defense, honestly, has been a masterclass from them thus far.
Yeah, it's been very good, for sure.
Goes
another great start to a defensive fight here. Blink and you miss it. Both DPS are dead and buried. Until, of course, they respawn in the spawn room. But 2 minutes remaining now for them to cover just about roughly 20 more meters. Something like that.
Equivalently, yeah. But that cart is kind of rolling back as well. As Key goes over to the Winston now. And I like this a little bit more. They're going to attempt to simply ignore Ragozo and go for this backline a little bit more and do what they can. But Daniel does not hold back. But Pucko finds the early Elim.
Pucko and Ragazzo both finding Elims early, but you would much rather lose out on your Fury than your Winston. Without your tank, you really just do not have the tip of the spear that you need to get this fight win that you are so desperately looking for as Team Peru. Honduras is still looking pretty solid here on their defense with just over a minute remaining.
100%. Now, we're proceeding forward. It's just over a minute left on the clock here, and Puggo would love to find a good stick right here. Everyone's hanging up above, but Key is down early again.
He's dead
now.
again!
That is rough, dude. And now Panopticon gets 2. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's a really, really good Panopticon. I'm not sure if this young guys. Okay, Ragazzo does hit those shots. You do love to see it. But I mean, that was a crazy series of events. The problem now, though, for Honduras is you've only got the Kitsune Rush to work with, going up against a Nano Boost and 2 DPS ultimates for Peru. And I mean, we've seen what Persona can do with these overclocks. We've seen that Puggo is very capable of finding frags, whether that be with the Pulse Bomb or otherwise. And I mean, they're even standing in the Disruptor shot just to help Fix charge that Nano Boost a little bit here. Surely gets thrown out here on the Key. It does. The Pulse Bomb also goes out, but it doesn't get any kills here. Ragazzo eventually melted down by the torrent of damage. Uber Eats, aka Ishtar, finding 2 final blows in this fight. Lunar Sky finding 1 back on the Persona.
What?
Daniel Mix, though. Uber Eats is dead. 4 seconds left. We're going into overtime, and a couple players from Peru will not be present in the immediate overtime fight. Wall is active for Honduras, so they have a slightly easier time contesting this one. Surely they're going to have the title blast here, giving it over to Spell on the Venture. It's going to be enough damage to take Puggo out of the equation, and surely the Tectonic Shock could seal the deal, but no! Persona having that overclock is so massive. Big damage, big numbers, big money, but Tectonic Shock also not quite enough to take out the Primal Raging Winston. Key eventually losing out on the Primal Rage transformation, but still having enough health to get through this one, and the overtime push will be successful. Peru will make it to the 3rd point.
Yeah, and Key immediately realizes we're going indoors, gives up on the Winston, goes over back to the Junker Queen, or goes over back to the Domina as well. Man, that is big clutch territory for them right there, but now a very small amount of time to potentially get through all of 3rd, as Fix also changes over, goes over to the Kiriko. Makes a lot of sense given the situation, but keep in mind, Uber Eats is staying over on the Juno instead of going back over towards the Lucio. Again, I think the Lucio was probably banned out as well, more than likely. So now, you are trying to work up to something as Ragazzo's down.
Oh my god, we can't do this. We can't keep doing this. We can't keep playing the Domina in situations where she's just gonna get run down, Honduras. Lunar Sky and Benja Persona also fall down here, and surely the DPS are soon to follow. At very least, Self is, but Daniel Mix manages to stay alive, at least for now. Sticking now to this Domina. I mean, they've only got an overclock to work with here. 30 seconds remaining, and they are so close to the end of this map, Hunter.
Yeah, they are right now. They're trying to zone in right now. Lunar Sky barely gets it, and Daniel, early elimination, is hoping.
That's big.
Just clear things out right here, and Persona has to kind of run for it on the cast.
Yeah, but you need more of those. Puggo! Puggo blinks into the pit. This is tragic.
Oh no! And now,
Peru.
Oh, it's cooked. It's over.
They absolutely could have had the tools in their kits to capture this final point, but just like that, the Pulse Bomb accidentally drops into the abyss, and just like that, Honduras managed to hold on at the final hour.
That is an insane hold right there. Wow, to pull that one out right there. Again, nearly get it back on the 2nd point. Pulls it out on the 3rd right there in such a critical situation. And now it is still going to be a bit of an uphill climb to get this thing basically all the way towards the end. But again, if you could take into account the phenomenal defense they had on 2nd point, what they might be able to do forward, this is a potential winnable situation for them. Which, first of all, it's always winnable. But
it's always winnable.
It's always winnable. But in the situation, it definitely feels like it is. But they have to find momentum here. Because right now, if I'm Key, I'm just starting Junker Queen. I'm not bothering with all the in-between right here. But as we're seeing the preview of, as, again, they're in Spawn. Actually, are they in Spawn? No, they're not in Spawn. They are coming out on Sigma. That is fascinating.
That is very interesting. I am very curious as to the thought process here, because I think Sigma's a very good tank, but I think that, I mean, there's no reason you shouldn't just be playing Junker Queen here, man. Just the Honduras has consistently shown that they struggle playing against these rush compositions, and right now you're just playing their game. You're letting yourself play against that poke composition with a poke composition of your own. And I think this is kind of what Honduras wants here. So maybe theoretically, we see some motion from the Hondurans here.
Yeah, what are we from Honduras could actually? We looked this up before. Let's see. They're called Hondurians. Let a Honduran get a little bit of motion. We'll say.
My apologies. I thought it was just Hondurans.
I thought so too. We had to research this a lot before, and it was really fascinating to see some of the names up here. But
that's true.
One thing that's for sure, this fight is trying to kind of trickle on and continue, but they're mainly just trying to rally, take away this high ground away, as Ragozo is used to having to like play into the bunkers a lot of the time. Can't show their face for even a second without just getting pelted from damage by everyone. As Pogo, by the way, in there in the 5v1, lucky to get out of there alive.
They're flipping the map, dude. They're going behind the point to try and contest it from a very unconventional angle, trying to catch people off guard here, and they might just do that with Uber Eats, but Ragazzo dies? How does that even happen?
I don't know, but Key's already gotten rid of 2. Key's looking for a hat trick right here, and honestly would love to get it, but at this point, if you're that whole squad, you just need to reset. Get off the cliff, whatever you need to do, take the resets. Honestly, I think the moment you lost Ragozzo, that should have been the cue to back out and give up.
Yeah, you needed to just reset at that point. There's no escaping. There's no getting back to your spawn room. Ragazzo is going to be going over to the Winston here. I don't know how I feel about this pick right now. I think that it's really good into the support line. The problem is that Sigma. If you get hit by a single rock, you will probably die. Benja also making the swap over to Jetpack Cat. So very highly mobile, going to be able to assist with dives here, but yeah, first attempt at a dive for Honduras is not going to be successful. Persona shuts that notion down instantly. With 3 kills on the fight, Ragazzo manages to escape with his life, but nobody on the rest of the team does.
Yeah, and now this is rapidly forward, because now that you've kind of made the multiple switches, you give up on some of those ultimates as well. So while you should be up in the ult economy right now, you're not. You're not, and now you're walking into some really brutal ones. In fact, there's going to be a smorgasbord about to be available here. For Peru moving forward. They're sitting in a really good position. You need a critical blow to get this started right here. Daniel needs to find somebody out early, as Ragozzo actually finds the first casualty.
There we go. That's big. Both Sojourns out of the equation now, but unfortunately, they continue to lose out on players. Fix on this Iari has been so good thus far. Just keeping his teammates alive, making sure that no damage dealt to his team lasts for too long. That captive sun to take the Jetpack Cat out is also absolutely gorgeous. Kitsune Rush goes out, and I mean, that's potentially exactly what they need to keep the Winston alive. The problem now becomes Persona with this extremely dangerous overclock, but Cell is able to shut it down. 1 minute left on the clock, and it looks like Honduras finally making a little bit of progress here on the point, but are they going to be able to capture the point? 99.8% is where the contest comes through. Uber Eats also with the window here. A lot of pressure being put onto the point as it stands. He staying alive, popping that.
Gets taken out,
but gets eliminated at the final hour. There will not be a contest for much longer, and we are moving on to the second point.
Yeah, and we'll see if we get a late blow over here onto Ishtar, and they 100% will. That will aid them a little bit here, getting as much progress as humanly possible, as Ragozzo setting up the protractor for that jump right there, as we'll see the swap coming through, as, yeah, the respective swaps over here, as we see the Brick come out, in the Kiri as well. We'll see how things move forward, especially with Ben just still over on the Cat. I think it's fine for first point. Second, I think there's just way too much openness for it to have too much effectiveness, but hey, I am more than happy to be wrong. Let the Cat have a little value here nowadays. Unfortunately, Lunar Sky not getting a ton for that fight.
Yeah, not lasting very long in that one, and it is unfortunate to say, because I think you're totally right. I think the Jetpack Cat does struggle on this point, but that's a tectonic shock. Super early burn on that one, and it's really not going to get that much value. Unless it just gets a kill onto Persona?
Yeah,
immediately proving me wrong. Immediately proving me wrong.
Yeah, I thought this was originally just to make some space for that cart to roll underwards, and to be fair, it did, but now Ragozzo's pulling the trigger, and unfortunately, there's like nobody remaining now, so you need to try to juggle somebody in here. Unfortunately, I don't think it's working out too well for them, as they're going to be able to TP back out, as this is going to be hard to come back from. I
was going to say, surely that Kiri lives, right? But Cell, man. Going down that late is so rough. But at very least, look at where that cart got, man. Almost to the second point. They just need one good fight from Daniel Mix. They need one good ult from Lunar Sky. They need one... You could even maybe burn Overclock here. But you're working into 5 ultimates right now if you're Honduras. So this is rough.
Yeah, this is definitely rough right here. Ultimates are really starting to build up as well. Use a good amount. You make the swaps as well. So now you put yourselves in a rough situation where you almost need to take a quicker fight with a lot of aggression on this situation to get out what you can. I don't want to say go in and plan to lose the fight, but if you go in here and burn everything that you have left and it does not work, your last fight is set up for failure. So you need to be very wise as to how you have to take that. And consider Rush, he's going to get them started. Everyone's going to get out of there.
Yep, great Kitsune to open up the fight, and there's that overclock from Daniel we expected. Couple more ultimates are going to come out here. I think he had to burn the bomb in order to remake, excuse me. All 4 ultimates being used for the side of Peru as it stands here, but both of the tools in Honduras' kit are gone. 30 seconds now remaining, and Cell is out of the map. Lunar Sky also falls. I mean, this is dangerous territory for sure. God. What a pulse bomb from Puggo to close that one out. 20 seconds remaining, and I don't think they have a consistent touch. No. They're stalling the hell out of Ragazza's death. 10 seconds remaining, and Ragazza is only now dying. Cell has to be the one to touch this point here, but Lunar Sky and Benja Persona might not be able to fist for very long. The touch is there. Overtime should be triggered, but it shouldn't last long. Only one wick of overtime shall burn. And Peru, man, they are just so good at Overwatch. They take this one away, but damn did Honduras put up a fight.
Yeah, I mean, give them credit, honestly, for making this a lot closer than maybe some people anticipated. Gotta give them every bit of credit in the world, but Peru, they found the key, they shut it down, they moved on forward, they look great because of it. They get another nice little win, put themselves in a pretty good condition moving forward for the rest of the day, but still a lot more games for them to come, and same thing for Honduras moving forward. But no, it's good for Peru in this instance right here. I love Honduras going and putting up a fight against everybody thus far.
Yes.
It's a rough situation for them because this puts them, I think, at this point, probably out of range for being able to top 3. You never know what can happen, obviously, but unfortunate situation for them. But for Peru, they're trucking on forward. They're trying to lock things in and put themselves in the best position possible. So we'll just have to see how the rest of the day goes down and see where these teams sit at the end of the day.
Indeed, indeed. I am going to let you talk for a little bit while I use the restroom real quick.
I will say we are at that time, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean.
That time?
We are at that time, yeah.
That time? What do you mean by that?
I definitely explained it before. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that time. Okay, that time. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I'm trying to feel so discreet. I'm like,
okay. It took me a moment, but I got there.
Yeah. So little thing right here. Getzer, first of all, you've been an absolute joy to be with all day thus far. We've been sitting together for the last near not 6 hours, Jesus, nearly 4 hours of our lives, and I always enjoy every single minute of it right here. But obviously, Dex has found himself a home. He is all set up and ready to go, and we're going to be closing out the night there. I don't know what Getzer's plan is. I know, Getzer, you have some casting to do in a little while here as well, over on the night for CGL. That's going to be great. Are you going to be watching any other games or streaming any other games up until that point, or are you going to be just chilling out a little bit?
I genuinely might take a nap.
Fair.
I am... This is a lot of fun, but I am drained. So I'm probably gonna eat something. I might take a nap. We'll see what happens. But I'll be back for CGL, and I'll see you then. But until then, thanks for having me on. It was a lot of fun. Dexatron, my friend, take it away.
Yeah. So he's gone. So I'm just gonna break for yeah. So Get will be going for now. Dex is coming in, so we're just gonna go and break for 2 minutes, just because I'm gonna get his thing, get our stuff synced up really quick. So we will be right back in just a moment. So hang in there, please. We will be right back.